Hey guys, my little puppy here and I want to tell you a little more with a follow-up video to talk about your assignment due on Monday. So this is a follow-up to Ted's email. Basically, the assignment asks for a discussion of the problem that you're going to be addressing, kind of in a description of the environment that we're talking about. So whether you're talking about environment, U.S. politics, education, any of the others, which is basically kind of a summary of your mind map in a particular part you're going to be focusing on. And then just a bit about the solution. Now, it's most important to emphasize that this is not your final product. This is not the one you'll be presenting on in December. This is a very, very initial presentation about what solutions you guys are thinking about. And you could go, this could be pretty broad. The idea is that we want to get you to start thinking about solutions to the problem you identified. So I recommend focusing on three things. One, what is the environment that we're talking about? So if you're saying education, well, give us a brief summary of some of the huge, broad scope problems that you identified in education. And then you could go further and further in onto those until you've identified two, maybe one problem even would be fantastic that you really want to focus on. And it's important to get specific and it's important to be focused. So not saying college is expensive, but maybe changing that and saying many students are in great debt because it takes 12 years to pay off loans of this amount of money and the loan system is broken. Or lower class students cannot afford to go to most universities or anything like that. So get specific, mention the stakeholders, talk about that, and be pretty broad and be creative in what you're doing, because what's important is that this is going to grow and you're going to iterate and you're going to create prototypes and you're going to go through the entire design thinking process to get to the actual final company or structure that you're going to be presenting in December. And detail speaking, so 5 slides is really all you need. You're allowed to do more, but this is not a huge, formal, intense presentation. It's great and perfectly fine to be pretty narrow in your slide use and just talk a little bit more. One person or two can do all the talking since it's a video and you just have the slides up. This definitely is not a very formal, pitch presentation. Below, I created a little mind map that might help you guys as you're working towards your solution. So, for example, I found one particular need within education, that there's no creative business model around loaning money for education. So, maybe part of your mind map was about it's being expensive and the loans are hard to pay off. And I had the question, well, why are the loans hard to pay off? It's because it's all just paying off interest rates. So then I created another small little mind map about, let's just throw around some ideas. That's the point. Just go crazy, throw around ideas. What if you paid it back in volunteer work? What if you invested in high school students in exchange for some sort of equity deal that comes later in life? Or the one I like the most, I called the Make America Great Again loan. So you get interest discounts or even free months of payment if you acquire skills like language learning or hard mechanical skills or anything like that. And so my solution is to create a sort of business model around the loan system, whereas you become better people, better adults, and better members of society through learning languages or gaining skills or taking courses in personal finance or different broad scopes of education. You get both a kickback from certain educational institutions like great courses or Creative Live or anything like that, and perhaps the government can give some sort of kickback back to my loan company in order to decrease the unemployment rate in a particular sector. So if the government says, well, we really need a lot more mechanics, well, for every class you take that gets you one step closer to being a mechanic, we'll decrease part of your college loans and the government will give us the money back. So that's all part of that. So again, get creative, not too difficult. It could be just as long as I've been speaking now. Have a lot of fun with it, and then we'll work through the next processes as time goes on.